I'd like to begin this evening's meeting. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hagedorn.
Here.
Mrs. McElfresh.
Present.
Mr. Hickman.
Present.
Ms. Cloyd.
Present.
Mr. Funk.
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Mr. Graves. Thank you.
I'll take a motion to excuse Mr. Graves from this evening's meeting.
So moved.
A motion, may I have a second? Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, I'll take a motion to approve the council minutes of May 26th.
So moved.
Motion, may I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Combs, are there any visitor cards this evening?
I think we might have one.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Good evening.
Thank you.
My name is Pat Osborne. I live at 6307 Todd Hunter Road. I've been here several times over the years for several different things. So I first want to say thank you for what I understand that you have tried to put a stop to this data center from Lemon Township. I hope that's true. I'd like to have an update on what's going on because I don't want to be blindsided with, I thought they were going to do this and they did that. So can anyone give me an update on it?
I would recommend that administration contact you with any details that we have regarding economic development outside of the city. But yeah, as far as this.
I live in that area and I've read some horror stories about them. I mean,
I know.
I think they said in Georgia, one community ground shakes all the time. Other cities has had a lot of problems with noise and health considerations. And and our property values. I mean, some of the people over there has just paid $300,000 for those houses. I didn't. I've been there for 50 years. But they are going to be shocked. And then what happens to our property taxes? They're not going to lower. You know, and if they do lower, the city's going to be affected by it.
Yeah, I would say, and I'm cautious, I don't want to speak for everybody, but a lot of people share your concerns about the uncertainty and some of the things we've seen in the news as well. And that's why the city has excluded it through its zoning parameters.
So you have said, what is the zoning perimeters?
We've banned data centers in the city, within the city limits of Monroe. That does not cover Lemon Township.
I know,
Okay,
and you
so
know what's all red?
that's what
Lemon
that
Township
means.
is covered by the city of Monroe. It's in the center of the city of Monroe.
I know.
That's why I think a lot of people, myself included, Ms. Osborne, share your concern, the proximity. As a resident myself, so you'll have to excuse some of this from being council driven, but the most I can tell you is that any decision falls within the Butler County Commissioners. So if you're able to participate at a Butler County Commissioner meeting and speak your piece there.
Thank you. I was wanting ideas.
We, as a council, as a city management, we sent a letter sharing our position that it's something that we wouldn't align with, that it's not something that we would ask for, especially given our zoning. Butler County Commissioner is the level where any decision moving forward would happen for any of the townships under the Butler County zoning. So that's beyond Lemon Township and beyond.
You don't know if anything has actually progressed into it? Because the governor apparently withdrew some of the benefits of it for our state. We got 204. What do we need any more for?
All I know is the same that you probably know from online, where the decision stands and where any appealing would stand would be at the Butler County Commissioner level at this
Thank you.
time.
Is there anything else? Would a petition help if we got a petition up? Or
There is one circulating around.
do you
There
know
is a
who-
petition.
I'm not in charge of it. I don't know where,
No, no,
like
but
who's in
there
charge
is
of it,
one.
but
I would just like to know if it would work and if I have to get one from the lawyer or if we can get one off the internet.
There are some residents from I believe the Trenton sort of adjacent area who have started a movement for petition signing, and it has been circulating in the community. Forgive me, I don't know anything more than what sometimes Facebook feeds me, telling me that they are popping up with availability for petition signing.
Okay.
But to the mayor's point, if you'd like to have a longer conversation, Mr. Lester would be available to you and be able to answer what we know now. But if you are feeling the need for an outlet for action, it would be at the Butler County Commissioner meeting level.
Thank you. The other thing I came to talk about is last year, it was a bad year. Last year, I wound up having knee surgery and falling and breaking my leg. Now, January is knee surgery, and February was breaking my arm. Breaking my arm. March, my husband had a stent put in after a heart attack. In April, he had to have another stent put in. During that period of time, he wasn't really functioning well, and he got this thing about he wanted to take care of the driveway.
Oh.
The driveway was going down. It was probably 20, 25 years old. We had put in. And he got this thing in the mail about chip rock. It's a chip
Chip seal.
driveway. Chip seal, yes. And I tried to talk him out of it, and he wouldn't do it. And he signed a paper saying that we would do it, and gave him $1,000. And then they didn't give us a receipt or anything like that, so we knew. So they sent us a email that said, if we cancel, it's another $1,000. Well, we couldn't afford to pay $1,000. We just paid for the chip seal. So he wasn't thinking very well. He was on medicine that really made it foggy for him. And I think his name was Tom that was in charge of,
Tom Smith.
yeah, I think. And he came out and he looked and he said, look, this is chip seal. This is an actual road, the way they make some roads. And it was okay. And then we were told that we had to put in the concrete apron. Well, we looked around and tried to find someone to do it, and we went to Affordable Paving, and they said last year they would do it. Guess what? This year they won't. They're busy. They were willing to do it in October last year, which probably would have broke because it wouldn't have seeded very well. And so we're having trouble finding someone to do it. And I want to know if you guys got somebody that you know that would be acceptable to do it.
Mr. Morton, do we have like I don't know if we have this or not, but do we have like a list of potential contractors where she might be able to call and get that kind of assistance?
It's so little of a job, no one wants it, you know.
Well, I think Mr. Morton probably can help you with that. At least give you some
We're getting
references.
desperate. But a lot of those people now, like last year, they were willing to do it. Now they're busy and they're not interested. And this would be our second year, and we had 2 years to do it. So if you can help me out with that, and then I will try to find whoever's in Trenton that's got this started. And I do thank you for standing up and saying, we don't want one here. Because, I mean, when I bought my house, when I was 25, I'm 76 years now, and I'm telling you right now, I told him at 25, this is our death house. This is where we'll die. We're not selling, we're not moving, that's it. And we've been happy there. We've got a wonderful neighborhood, wonderful. I mean, they're almost like
Family.
a fairy tale neighborhood. No cussing outside, no screaming at the kids, no guns going off, no, fighting with the neighbors like what we moved from. So we'd just like to say thank you for what you've done already, and thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Osborne.
Okay, I don't have any other visitor cards this evening. Are there any committee reports this evening? If not, we'll move right into old business with emergency ordinance number 2026-14. Please read the ordinance by title only.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a development agreement by and between the City of Monroe, Skinnell Properties number 787 LLC, and Corridor 75 Park Limited to facilitate construction of Project Clear and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from council? If not, I will take a motion.
I move to suspend the rule requiring ordinances to take effect 30 days after passage and authorize emergency ordinance number 2026-14 to take effect immediately upon adoption on the second reading.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. McAllister, second by Mr. Hickman, to suspend the rule and authorize emergency ordinance number 2026-14 to take effect immediately upon its adoption. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, do I have a motion to adopt emergency ordinance number 2026-14?
I move to adopt emergency ordinance number 2026-14.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. McAllister, second by Mr. Hickman, to adopt emergency ordinance number 2026-14. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. McAlfresh?
Yes.
Mr. Hickman?
Yes.
Ms. Cloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Funk?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Abstain.
Mr. Hagedorn?
No.
Motion carried.
Okay, next up is emergency ordinance number 2026-15. Please read the ordinance by title only.
An ordinance authorizing the City of Monroe to enter into a community reinvestment area agreement with Skinnell Properties number 787 LLC and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from council?
Yeah. Let's see, where did I see that at? So this is CRA tax abatement for 75% for 15 years.
This
Is
is
that
to
correct?
remove the,
Huh?
I think we're just removing the emergency right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Then it'll open up.
Okay, I'll take a motion to suspend the rule.
I move to suspend the rule requiring the reading of emergency ordinance number 2026-15 on 2 separate days and authorize its adoption on the first reading.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion by Ms. McAllister, second by Mr. Hagedorn, to suspend the rule requiring the reading of emergency ordinance number 2026-15 on 2 separate days and authorize its adoption on the first reading. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to adopt emergency ordinance number 2026-15?
I move to adopt emergency ordinance number 2026-15.
I have a motion. May I have a second? I'll second it, I guess. I have a motion by Ms. McElfresh, second by myself to adopt emergency ordinance number 2026-15. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hickman,
No.
Ms. Cloyd,
No.
Mr. Funk,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Abstain.
Mr. Hagedorn,
No.
Ms. McElfresh.
Yes.
Motion failed.
Next item up is ordinance number 2026-16. Please read the ordinance by title only.
An ordinance approving a final plat for Section 5, Block E in the Monroe Crossing subdivision.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from council? If not, ordinance number 2026-16 will be on the next agenda for a second reading. Next item up is resolution number 32-2026. Please read the resolution by title only.
A resolution accepting the lowest and/or best quote submitted for city building foundation repairs and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract by and between the City of Monroe and Aqua Proof Incorporated.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from council? If not, I will take a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 32-2026.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. McElfresh, second by Mr. Hagedorn to adopt resolution number 32-2026. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Cloyd,
Yes.
Mr. Funk,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn,
Yes.
Mrs. McElfresh.
Yes.
Mr. Hickman,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next item on the agenda is resolution number 33-2026. Please read the resolution by title only.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a collective bargaining agreement by and between the City of Monroe and the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association for the police sergeants.
Thank you. Any discussion from council on this one? If not, I'll take a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 33-2026.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. McElfresh, second by Mr. Brown to adopt resolution number 33-2026. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Funk,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn,
Yes.
Mrs. McElfresh,
Yes.
Mr. Hickman,
Yes.
Ms. Cloyd.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next up is resolution number 34-2026. Please read the resolution by title only.
A resolution approving a then and now certificate in the amount of $41,330.27 to Majors Enterprises Incorporated for emergency water main repair services.
Thank you. Any questions from council?
Yeah, I have a couple. So how many of those water main breaks did the majors do versus the city?
I couldn't hear that. I couldn't hear it either.
Here, I'll stick my mouth on the mic. How many of those water main breaks did you guys do, and how many did the majors do?
I believe the majors did, just off the top of my head, they did 4 or 5, and we did
One.
2 or 3. We had just 7 total. We had 7 total breaks.
No, 7. And they did 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
Did were they all inspected?
Yes.
Can you send me the inspection reports on all of them?
I mean, there's not really inspection reports on it. I mean, it was going on through the night and our crews were there checking on them as they were working on the other breaks as well. So our crews were on site. They were all on 2 streets. So we had 2 crews from Majors and 1 crew from the city on those 2 streets. So our crew leader in the water department was there on site all night, keeping an eye on the job. I was there until about 8 o'clock myself that evening, watching them.
So there, basically, there were no reports filed on those, correct? Inspections reports,
There would be work orders.
work
There
orders.
would be a work order that our guys were on the site, but is there a report? There's not a report done for each water main break that we do. We log it in our GIS system that there was a break at that particular location, and then we complete a work order so we can go back and trace time and material that way. But to have a report, I don't know, what are you looking, what information are you looking to have for a report? We were
Well-
tracking their equipment and manpower on the job while we were there.
Typically, at least that's what my understanding is, when an outside contractor does work for the city, there's an inspector that inspects the work that's being done, and there's a report made by the
Typically-
inspector.
Typically, yes, this was all on overtime, mainly overtime hours, and our inspector who inspects capital projects and private development projects, he would not typically get called in for something like that because it's a distribution activity, not something out of the engineering. Our inspector works out of the engineering division. This happened in our distribution system and was under the guidance of the water distribution crew.
So the work on the corner of Holman and Todd Hunter, there was no inspection done there?
There was. That was a capital project. So our engineering inspector inspected that.
Okay.
Can I butt in real quick?
Go ahead.
So if there's no inspection for repairs, how do we know that the job was done correctly as far as
Well, I mean,
like
we
correct
would-
materials used and everything's
Well, I
up
mean,
to
we were
zoning
supplying
code?
them the materials. Number one, we had all the repair bands. It's mainly on those water main breaks. There was one in our crew did the one that was like, I believe, about an 11-foot split where we had to cut about 11 feet out, and our crew did that one and replaced a fire hydrant within that split. And then we supplied them with the repair bands, and again, I guess the evidence that they've done it right, one, we had crews in and out of that street with, checking on them as they were working, but also, all the leaks were stopped when they put the clamps on and backfilled. Yeah. And then they also filled CDF because I think all but one of the cuts they did were in the street where we had to backfill with CDF. So that material cost is in their price. They have their own truck to make concrete and CDF backfill on site. And so we had them do that. So
Go ahead.
I just know that, residents, when they have contracted work done, it needs to be inspected. It has to follow guidelines. I just want to make sure that contractors working for the city are doing the same thing.
yeah, I mean, like I said, typically speaking, we have a full-time inspector who is in Stony Brook. He's in Monroe Crossings. He's checking on the contractors installing. He's looking at our pavement program, our ADA program. He's not monitoring our in-house crews, or in this case, a contractor, because it's on the distribution system. That wasn't a planned activity You know, that was an
was an
emergency water main break, and so he was not involved in that. And so, you know, again, his job is not monitoring internal staff. That's why we have the assistant director over utilities and the superintendent of utilities. They monitor the work of the crews. That, you know, to be frank with you, the superintendent and assistant director were at a stormwater conference the night of that. And so that's why I was there until about 8:30 that night, because those two were out of town in Toledo at a stormwater conference. So between myself and the crew leader in the water department, we were overseeing it, and I was checking in with him up until probably 11:30, 12 o'clock that night.
And forgive me, how many residences are still impacted by this work? How many still have follow-up work?
As far as I know, we should be completely restored. We have one section, we had to go back. We're still chasing one break, but we have a small segment of main that we could valve off without losing any residents. So we're still trying to ascertain where that break is. It's either in the woods or it's underneath State Route 63. So we're still looking to determine where that's at, but we have no one impacted from a service standpoint.
From a service standpoint, but what
And,
about aesthetic impact?
As far as I know, the restoration should be done. I can't answer if 100% of it is completed.
Well, I feel that there's at least one resident who has been vocal about issues with their turf easement, et cetera. And are we sure that there aren't other residents in the same area who have issues that still need to be addressed?
Yes, I'm aware of that address. I have a field review Thursday morning with our assistant director to look at that site specifically for restoration.
Are we oftentimes in an impact, one person, the noisiest person, if you will, not calling them noisy, forgive me, but the loudest person gets the most attention. Are we sure that there aren't any other residences that have perceived impact who have not drawn attention to themselves? Can we make sure that we look at the full site and that there aren't any other opportunities to restore any infrastructure or fascia there?
Yes, we will check all sites, and given that we're at the start of summer, we'll likely have to do some reseeding in the fall as well, because the seed will not take this late in the season.
Okay.
Anything else from Mr. Morton? Thank you. Okay, any other discussion on this resolution? If not, I will take a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 34-2026.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. McGuffer, second by Ms. Cloyd to adopt resolution number 34-2026. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn,
Yes.
Mrs. McElfresh,
Yes.
Mr. Hickman,
Yes.
Ms. Cloyd,
Yes.
Mr. Funk.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item on the agenda is resolution number 35-2026. Please read the resolution by title only.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Monroe, Ohio, establishing the city's commitment to eliminating roadway fatalities and serious injuries by the year 2045, and authorizing the development of a comprehensive safety action plan consistent with the U.S. Department of Transportation's Safe Streets and Roads for All program.
Thank you. Any discussion from council on this one? If not, I'll take a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 35-2026.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. McGuffer, second by Mr. Hagedorn to adopt resolution number 35-2026. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hagedorn,
Yes.
Mrs. McElfresh,
Yes.
Mr. Hickman,
Yes.
Ms. Cloyd,
Yes.
Mr. Funk,
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I got a question real quick. I've been watching everybody up here speak into their microphones about a foot away, and everyone's been able to be heard except for me. Either this microphone gets changed out before next meeting, or I'll be changing seats with somebody.
We heard that.
That's all I had. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
I was waiting for the question.
No, there's no question.
All right, next item on the agenda is resolution number 36-2026. Please read the resolution by title only.
A resolution accepting the lowest and/or best bid submitted for the construction of the Ohio Department of Transportation pedestrian crossing project and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract by and between the City of Monroe and Majors Enterprises Incorporated.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from council?
Yes, I have several actually. Hold on a minute. 36. I heard that. Recently, we tried to get a sidewalk from, what was it, in front of Mount Pleasant. Is this part of this or not?
Yes,
So they did give up the right of way for us to do this?
we purchased the right of way.
Okay. And we could have done that last time, correct? Was it the
Understand the
purchase? We
question.
purchased it for what, $4,000?
I'm sorry,
We paid $4,000 for it.
I don't know off the top of my head. We
Okay.
purchased it about in excess of 12 months ago. I don't remember.
So those ADA ramps, are you redoing all those ramps that are already there?
Probably, because I don't think most of them are currently up to date, up to current standards. So yes, I believe they are.
So what do you think changed in those standards? It seems like a waste of money if we're redoing ramps that are not even, I'm guessing maybe 8 years old, if that.
I don't know of any that are as new as 8 years old, but I mean, there could be one or two, Mr. Hickman. I don't know
But I'm
off
just,
the top of my head, but most of even if there's ramps that you can look at that look like they're in compliance and they're not, and so maybe they look in compliance, but they don't meet the federal specification. We don't set that specification. That's a federal specification to meet the ADA standard.
okay. So all those that we put in throughout the city, you think they all have to be
No, I
replaced?
think the ones that we have put in, I don't know when those were put in. They were not put in under my time.
I'm pretty sure they were.
Well, maybe in my first round when that intersection was moved and the house was torn down
Yeah.
on Britton Lane, but that's been over 15.
I think
probably
they had to
15
do
years.
that because when Mount Pleasant wanted those streets into the city, they had to do that. That was
That was
part of
before I
it.
started in 2007. Those streets were already in the city.
No, not 2007. I'm sorry. I'm the one who approved it.
I don't know. I know that from 2007, we always maintained the streets within Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
I-
That's not good to hear, actually.
Okay.
Well, that's the reason why I'm asking these questions, because like I said, those ramps are fairly new. And if we're just going to tear them out, just
I
be
mean,
tearing them out.
If you send me a picture of what ramps, the location of
Well,
the ramps, I can
I-
tell you what year they were installed.
If
I
you
just
like,
can't tell you right now. I don't
we
know.
can,
I
we
don't
can
know
meet
what-
tomorrow right at the corner there, and we can go over at Mount Pleasant.
Again, I mean, there's a lot of ramps through that area. If you send me an exact location, I can go to our GIS map and find what year they were installed, more than likely. But I need to know
Well,
exactly
it's
which
not,
ramps that you want to
it's
know.
not the year that matters. What matters is
Well,
if,
you're asking me how old they are.
it doesn't matter how old they are. They're fairly new, is my point. I can't tell you if they're 5, 6. I can't tell you the exact date of them.
I know they're older than 6 years, 100%. I've been director for 6 years, and they've not been replaced in those 6 years.
So we just go ahead and replace them then?
It's part of a state-funded project that they were assessed and evaluated and determined that they did not meet federal compliance, so they're being replaced.
Okay, so they don't meet compliance.
I would assume they do not if that's why they're being replaced.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions on this resolution?
Hey, how many ramps are getting replaced?
5, right?
Looks like Seminary, Northwestern, and Cornerstone. I'm just that's the only ones I'm looking at is on Britton Lane, so I don't know about the other.
There's also a sidewalk that goes from Tennessee down to Northwestern. And then there's sidewalk that goes from William Draw and all the way across the frontage of the police station. And then there's 2 ramps right here at the post office. We're actually shortening the ramps and jetting the ramps out into the intersection to make it a shorter crossing because it's such a long crossing. So there's 2 ramps there here at the post office. Probably 4 ramps off Red Lane with a sidewalk, and then there's probably 6, somewhere between 5 and 7 down by the police station.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I will take a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 36-2026.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. McElfer, second by Mr. Brown to adopt resolution number 36-2026. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. McElfresh,
Yes.
Mr. Hickman,
Yes.
Ms. Cloyd,
Yes.
Mr. Funk,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up is resolution number 37-2026. Please read the resolution by title only.
A resolution approving an addendum to the city manager employment agreement between the city of Monroe and Larry Lester.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from council on this? Not hearing any, I will take a motion.
I move to adopt resolution number 37-2026.
I have a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. McElfer, second by Mr. Hickman to adopt resolution number 37-2026. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hickman,
Yes.
Ms. Cloyd,
No.
Mr. Funk,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
No.
Mr. Hagedorn,
No.
Mrs. McElfresh.
Yes.
Motion failed.
Okay, would anybody like to request a hearing for the issuance of C1 and C2 liquor permits at the new Wawa? Okay, if not, we'll move right into administrative reports.
Good evening, members of council. Director Morton has 2 items.
All right, back again. All right, so thank you, members of council. Again, bringing you some things that are going to be coming up on the next agendas. I'm going to go to the second one first. That has, ties to one of the things you voted on tonight for the emergency water line repair. And one idea that we've talked about in Public Works since this happened, I mean, I think over the last 6 years, I've had 2 emergency repairs that rose to this level. If you guys recall, probably 5 years ago, the water tower at Mound sprung a leak up at the top, and that was a very expensive emergency repair that we had to do. And so, one thing I wanted to run by council, get your thoughts on is that we prepare a master service agreement and we go out to say 3 different contractors and, list out repairs for emergency water line repairs. So at the beginning of every year, we go get pricing from 3 different contractors. They're on an emergency call list. We can rotate through. If one's not available, we call the next one. If they're not available, we call the next one. We set and establish pricing and hourly rates and equipment rates and things of that nature. And hopefully it will help control some of those costs, right? I understand those costs are absorbent that we saw today, but also I understand that we would have been looking at a minimum of 72 hours probably before we could have made all of those repairs with, multiple homes out of water. And it wasn't just those 2 streets, because you have other situations, other valves that are don't work well to stop that water to do the shutdown that we needed. And so we had, I believe, Lebanon Street from Timmerick down to, I can't think of it, but anyway, we had a fairly significant portion of Lebanon Street closed, plus Windcrest, and I can't think of the other street off the top of my head.
Canova.
I'm sorry.
Was it Canova?
No.
Okay.
What Windcrest comes off of?
Austin Smith.
Austin Smith?
Austin Smith, thank you. So Austin Smith. So we had all of Austin, most Austin Smith from Keswick to Lebanon, all of Windcrest, right? Multiple homes. We had out of water. So that's why we called in for emergency service to reestablish the service quickly, right? All those repairs that were made are repairs that our crews could make. We have one water crew of 5 guys. They would have been at work for 3.5 days trying to make repairs. It's unsafe. It's not productive. So that's why we made the call to bring in the contractor. But, with this idea, we would put together a contract, have legal vet that contract, talk to contractors, get their thoughts, information, bring that back in front of council, let you guys look at it, and then that way, every year again, we can try to have something established that will help control that situation, give us a little bit, you never know when it's going to happen. Now, that was a freak accident. I mean, I've been in the water industry for 25 years, over 25 years, and, I've seen 2 situations that rose to that rose only above that levity of that situation there. So those things don't happen very often, but when they happen, you have to deal with them, and we realize that we need to be more prepared for that. So just wanted to float that idea. Not necessarily that you'll be seeing it anytime soon, but it was a good time to bring it up as we, pass this resolution or motion for this then and now. So any thoughts from council would be welcome, so I can continue to work through that plan.
For me, and I think a few people might back me on this, I think would be nice that there's an inspection done by an outside contractor. I understand it's an emergency, but if we're doing work from outside people, I think it should be inspected. That way we know it's done up to par and it's done right, and it's not necessarily going to break in the, per se, near future.
So we want to pay an outside contractor, and then, I mean, I think the hard part is if it's an emergency and after hours, getting an outside inspector in is going to be very difficult, to be honest with you. I mean, in that situation, I mean, our staff is qualified to make every repair that's going to happen out there. We just may not have enough staff to do it, or it could be a situation where it's unsafe because we don't have the equipment for safety, that we have to call someone with larger equipment. We have mains, most of our water mains are 4.5 to 5 foot deep. Some of them are 10 to 12 foot deep in places. We typically are going to shy away from digging those because we don't have equipment large enough, and we don't have the safety equipment to put those guys in those holes. So we have staff available who is trained to watch those repairs and do that. I don't think that, it's nothing to do with what happened there or any repair that needs to be made on our water system. Is none of that is beyond the capability of our staff. I mean, if that's what council directs me to do, I can do that, but I don't, my personal opinion is that our staff is qualified to make those repairs. They're as qualified as the people who we're calling in. We're calling them in because we don't have the volume and numbers to handle certain instances in an emergency situation.
If I understand correctly, I think that what we would just be asking for is that, yes, while we can approve certain vendors to be able to be called in the event of an emergency does beget an emergency. It's going to happen at the most inconvenient hours. People are going to be stressed and trying to work through the problem as quickly as possible. Does an inspection have to happen at the time of the repair, or can we have a commitment to having it inspected the next day when their daylight is back and cooler heads are prevailing, to make certain that it is a job well done by our team can be the inspector? It's just when we're inviting contractors, I mean, I'll jokingly use mowing as an example. Like, we don't need anyone to audit whether or not the highway is being mowed to our standards, but there's a level of opacity to whether or not the water lines are being corrected, or even that the people's property is being treated to a level of respect that we would use as city repair persons rather than contract repair persons. So is someone going to go back and audit the work of the water main repairs, as well as any potential footprint we would have caused to the resident's property? I think that both of those are fair considerations.
So, I mean, we will still have staff in watching, at least one, if not multiple, in watching and making sure that things are done. Contractors are not allowed to turn our valves, so I'll have at least 2 guys in turning valves so the contractors don't break our valves. So we will always have staff here, and we always, contrary to what you may sometimes hear, I mean, we always take pride in our work and, go back and do the restoration as soon as we possibly can. Sometimes, if it's a very wet hole, it has to dry up and it has to settle, and, we have to give it time. Even, we have to schedule the time to be able to go back and make the concrete repairs. And, as far as like on Windcrest, we went back and we did the asphalt repair in-house, and we did the concrete repairs in-house. We had them fill the holes with concrete, but we did the concrete repairs of the driveways or curb or the asphalt in the streets. And so we will always have those people in there. Now, we what I would say is we can definitely do better at creating a report in that for that incident. I mean, that's something that, again, we have notes in the work order, but it may not be in a report like you're imagining, and we can create something like that, but I think it would be very hard for me to call a professional inspection company and get someone out there in a reasonable amount of time, right? I mean, we had boots on the ground from that contractor in under 2 hours. in a bucket in the ground, making those repairs. And
Understood.
that's going to be really hard to get that kind of service from someone coming out to inspect and be on.
I think you want these agreements, but which is fine. The only problem is like all of a sudden they're doing all of our water work, and like our mowing is being done. Pretty soon, no one in the city is actually doing anything except outside contractors. Can you give us a list also of what our water department can do?
Yeah. I mean, as far as, yeah. I mean, how do you want that list? What do you want to know?
I want to know what they can do, because I don't want to see the emergency, everything's emergency because you got this professional maintenance agreements.
No, I'm very much pro fixing everything we can handle in-house.
Well, I mean,
do not like to contract out.
No.
And in 6 years, we've done it twice when it's rose to that level of an emergency under my leadership as director in public works. And it could happen next week, or it could be 4 more years. I can't predict when that emergency is going to happen, but that we do not have a water main unless it's too deep. We don't have one that's too big. We may have some that are too deep, but we don't have any that are too big, or whatever that case may be, that we could not fix in-house. It just raises to the volume of the volume of that job. There were too many breaks. We were going to have too many people out of service for too long to do all of those repairs. Could have we done them in-house? Yes, but we would be here talking about how I had 3 streets out of water for 48 hours. That's what we would be here talking about instead of this bill.
No, I understand that. I understand that. I would just like to know what you guys can do,
Yeah.
because sometimes I wonder if really we need a separate department for water.
Water's its own division.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I'm wondering why can't we get all the crew members out there working on this stuff?
Again, with our water crew that's experienced, it would have been hard to put together experienced crews with that, because, I mean, we are, anymore, we're fairly separated in our divisions, because we have a lot of work going on. And so we have, crews that are assigned that do parks and facilities, and crews that do streets and the fleet repairs. And then we have the water crew, and we have a stormwater crew. And there's enough work that those people are working in those divisions daily. And so it's hard for us to cross-train and then put them in a situation where they can perform under pressure in a situation like that. That would be, I mean, we could do it. I mean, we probably I think we had 5 or 6 people in on that. I think we had 5, and I think Majors had 2 crews of 5 or 6 there making those repairs. That would be a tall order for us to get that many of our crew members in and have them be experienced and safe at making proper repairs.
The reason for that break was it because the water was turned off too quickly at the fire hydrant?
I don't think so.
And if so, have they all been trained in service on that?
Really, I'm going to give you my best assessment of what happened. That fire hydrant was being flow tested, and I believe that hydrant was installed it was a 1989 hydrant. I believe that the bolts were rusted, and inside there's a shaft that comes up from the bottom of the hydrant that has a cotter pin that connects the stem that goes down into the barrel of the hydrant, up into the hydrant where you turn it on. I believe that when they turned that on, that pen rusted and broke, and it dropped and it hammered, and then there was so much force, it literally broke every bolt on the fire hydrant off. The hydrant, I've never seen it happen that way. The hydrant literally fell off. And we haven't, we knew through our valve exercising program about 3 months prior, we had a valve that broke at Austin Smith and Keswick in the off position. And I think the fact that the water could not displace its pressure in both directions, that's what caused the severe hammer. But it was, I think, a failure of a part in the hydrant that was really no fault of anybody that caused that, is my opinion. I wasn't on site, but the way it broke, I've never seen that much force and pressure generated from opening. You can't open a hydrant or close a hydrant that fast to cause that severe of a hammer and do the damage that that did, unless it was a complete fast drop in that exertion of pressure. So that's my opinion on what happened.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess my thought on that is, if it was going to happen, that was probably the best time for that to happen, rather than somebody who has a fire and then that hydrant isn't functioning, you know? So that, and I know that's why they get tested, to ensure that safety. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, accidents happen and things wear out, and the end of usefulness happens with
Yeah.
everything.
And the crazy thing is that hydrant was a fight in 1989. That water main was installed in 1969, and there's still original hydrants on that street. You know, you can't predict which ones are going to fail.
Were all the hydrants tested on
No.
that street?
No, when they flow test, they do not test every hydrant. They test.
Because my curiosity is, if they go to do another hydrant, is it going to fail, right? I mean, that's just because if they're all in that same age range, it makes you wonder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a fair question that we don't know the answer to until we go open it.
Okay.
So, okay, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll work a little more on this and work on some reporting mechanisms and bring this back later if it's something council wants to see. It was an idea to, you know, I had a very good idea how this conversation was going to go tonight on this then and now, right? So I'm putting thought into how do we control it.
Well, I like the idea of getting that done early, so we have set pricing for a whole year, you know, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my second item tonight is roundabout standards with the project coming up on Gateway Boulevard with Project Clear and the possibility of the Gateway extension being built. It will bring the city of Monroe its first roundabout at the current intersection of Mason Road and Butler Warren Road, and where Gateway Boulevard will intersect. And so we are working with Clingers on the design of that project, and we've always anticipated this project has been around for many years, had many different iterations of design. But it's always been planned as this would be one of the gateways into the city. Coming into the city of Monroe, this is a gateway, welcome to Monroe, right? And with the new interchange coming to the south in a few years, we anticipate quick and massive growth beyond the city limits, with a lot of traffic coming into the city from the south to the north. And so as we're looking at this and looking at landscaping design within the roundabout, and as you guys know and see throughout the cities and townships of how very different roundabout landscaping can be, you know, we wanted to look at an approach the city of Mason and the city of Madeira has taken, which was they have created roundabout standards for landscaping so that anytime they build a roundabout within their city, they're going to be cohesive and look the same, have a theme, right? So when we get into a situation at a development where a development may cause a roundabout to be built at one of the intersections because of the traffic study, we have something in place that we can tell that developer, hey, here's the roundabout that we want and that we expect, and that this is our landscaping package for this roundabout. And then we don't have that argument of trying to do that or that cost being with the city. So what we're looking at here is two things. One, you're going to see three options for the Gateway Butler Warren Mason Road roundabout, which would also be the same options that we would put in other places. In the Safe Streets for All program that we're going through right now, coming up with our transportation master plan, we've identified about 8 locations where there could be potential roundabouts within the city over the next however many years, right? So this may be our first one, but we know it's not going to be our last one because roundabouts work, they're safe, they deal with traffic. There will be more coming, so we want to get in front of that and come up with a plan on how to handle that. So before I show you the different options, one last thing. Again, this roundabout is being designed as a 2-lane roundabout. It will open as 1 lane. We anticipate it to be 15 to 20 years. Oh, I apologize. We anticipate 15 to 20 years based on traffic studies before it opens up to a 2-lane. That could be true, that could be false. I don't know, right? Nobody knows. Based on what happens at Milliken, whatever. I mean, we can't control that coming from the south. So you'll see this is designed as a 2-lane roundabout. So we want to come up with a design that would be, hey, this is a gateway feature, right? It's going to be your 2-lane roundabouts, or even, there's been talk of a roundabout at Mason Avenue and Main Street in the park entrance, right? And that's a different size roundabout. That's a smaller roundabout. And then there's the mini roundabouts that you would see within subdivisions. And then a fourth, we want to have a landscape plan for regular intersections and what do these 4-way, whether it be signaled intersections or stop sign intersections, we want to create a theme. So moving forward, it's clear what we want. It's clear what developers are going to be responsible to do. So with that, Beth, if you could go.
Before you get into that, can I ask you one question?
Okay.
So we're talking about, probably traffic coming down Butler Warren, right? That will be included. Okay, so traffic coming down Butler Warren, and then you'll have that's right where we're talking about putting this roundabout, right? Gateway.
Right. Yeah, where the 90-degree curve is now.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Right in that curve.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so is that going to be, so Butler Warren, will it be widened?
Yes.
All right. And then what kind of traffic will be housed or allowed on Butler Warren after it's widened? Will it encompass semis?
It will accommodate semis to the new project site. That
I'm saying on a regular standard operating procedure. Like, is
not,
that
not,
road?
Not in the near future, no.
It's not designated for semis. Is that what you're saying? Or you don't know?
Past the entrance of this new facility, no. And we're requiring signage to be put up within the facility to direct traffic back out to Gateway and not to the south, because there's nowhere for the traffic trucks to go when they go south currently.
Do you see this maybe being an issue with somebody who's coming down?
I
I
mean-
just, I'm thinking ahead on that.
And
Yeah, I
and
mean,
equally going
I
towards
think
the-
it goes back to
Yeah.
the same issue we've been battling for years, and we can't be inside every truck and tell that truck where
Oh,
to or
I know
not to
that.
go. We can do all the signage that we can do and put all the precautions in place, but we can't make them follow those signs or those rules.
I understand.
And so
That comes down to
I mean,
monitoring it too.
for that facility to go in, it has to have truck traffic access, and that's what's driving
Oh, I
this
understand
project.
that.
And so, to answer your question about right now, Butler Warren Road, almost to Nickel, is being widened to 3 lanes.
Okay.
But it's being cut out and graded for it to eventually be 5 lanes. Because that's what is planned, and that's what the county master plan has Butler Warren being
Okay.
in the future. Now, to be honest with you, Butler County is saying further south, they anticipate it remaining 3 lanes in areas, but they believe in Monroe will need to be 5 lanes, because as that corridor of Butler Warren begins to develop, the main reason none of that corridor has ever developed is because the sewer has always stopped in Monroe and the waters ended at Milliken. And this interchange is going to pull sewer to the south and water to the north, and they're eventually going to meet, and that's all going to develop.
Okay.
And so once that water and sewer problem happens and is gone, that area is going to develop rapidly. And
So
so
the
it'll be a
round-
3-lane road for now, with the potential, again, in that like 15 to 20-year timeline based on traffic study, that it would go to 5-lane.
Okay. So the roundabouts you're showing us, is this just for passenger traffic?
No, trucks would be able to.
Okay, that's really
Yeah.
was my question. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's concept 1. So give you an overhead view. Gateway Boulevard to your right, or to the east, Mason Road. Right now, the long-term plan is that we work with the outlet mall and realign that back entrance to the outlet mall in that top north corner of the roundabout. Okay, we're not doing that right now because of the timeline of this project. That's a very tall order to get that right of way done. It's very tricky and messy with the outlet mall, trying to get right of way. So that's a plan for another day. But and then as you see, we're also going to take this project further to the left or to the west, to underneath of the 75 bridge deck, so that we're to that point. So at some point, if and when the Bishop Farm develops, this road project is already done, that developer would be responsible for improvements on Mason Road, and the city wouldn't have to come back and fix a gap. So,
I gotcha.
but this is, and as you see 1 lane of asphalt, and you see that line almost looks like the shape around a baseball or a tennis ball or whatnot. That line would be where we would go in and remove that concrete, and that would then get pavement and open up into a 2-lane.
Oh, I see.
So, and then of course we have the crosswalks. You'll see some more views here in a second, but this is your overhead view. So concept 1 here has a sign with landscaping and a big M in it. With we've tried to keep a lot of hardscape and plants that are going to require low maintenance and be able to handle winter salt and winter weather. So we've tried to keep that because this is, this roundabout will add a lot of extra landscape and mowing to our schedule. So we've tried to keep that minimal. Here's looking different directions and kind of a night view in the bottom right with a backlit sign and then uplighting on the M. Concept 2, again, pretty much, these top views are going to look the same. You get in, here's the difference is going to be in the signage. This is like more industrial look with the M over to the left, and then that would be like steel with laser cut lettering in it. And then again, a backlit sign from inside and a uplit sign. I think it's internally lit there. That sign is internally lit. So this is concept 2. And this sign it would be facing you as you're driving north. You would see this sign, right, as you're heading north. So you're coming from the south on Butler Warren Road
Into Monroe.
It's going to be facing you.
Yeah.
So, concept 3, again, the overhead view, a little bit different, a separate pedestal for the M, and then again, pretty much the same landscaping materials. We're sticking with rock and, plantings that are going to require low maintenance. And then again, this would be an uplit M and a backlit sign. So, and then my opinion on this, not, just is that when we're looking at this for multiple intersections, I think I like concept 3 when we're looking at this because of, again, 3 possible different sizes of roundabouts, because I think that M is scalable on this one more so than some of the other projects. It could be bigger, it can be smaller.
Sure.
So, that's just my personal opinion.
So this isn't really a comparison of roundabout concepts, it's just comparison of signage?
I'm sorry?
So it's not really a comparison of roundabout concepts, it's just comparisons of signage?
What I'm showing you is strictly more signage and landscaping. The design of this roundabout is what, we've already landed that, the traffic study has determined what we need to build for the roundabout itself for the functionality of the roadway. That's already been determined through engineering. So this is an exercise in landscape design.
I have one question. Sitting looking at it on what would be the northbound side, you have a bunch of taller trees or bushes that are planted that would eventually be in the second lane. Why would we put landscaping in that we're going to have to tear out when we plan on expanding this to 2 lanes? I mean, we're basically throwing money away. You're going to have to redo that landscaping again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that point. I mean, I think it's just the landscape architect giving you a visual of what it could look like, and again, we're 15 to, I would say we're probably 10 years out before we would have the budget and capacity to get that road realigned into that roundabout. But where it would fall in the capital planning process from a priority standpoint. So, I mean, again, you'll see more as the time goes on, but I need to get these in front of you because as we're coming, this project is approaching quickly. It's at a very fast clip, and we're making decisions daily as far as engineering reviews and things of that nature. So trying to get this out in front of you. One other piece of this is, and looking at designing and creating a standard, that is a cost for Kleinger's to do that. And off the top of my head, I did not include it in this, but I will be sending it out to you in a weekly report that gives you their quote for doing this work. It's about a $48,000 project to design and create this roundabout ordinance slash handbook, if you will, that will include all the plantings, the designs, all the colors, the materials. It'll include all of this information so we have it on file. So as these things continue to come on board, we'll be able to hand this information off to developers and say, here's a roundabout standards and this is what we want.
So my biggest concern with these concepts, well, 1 and 3, would be that M that has no background to it. And it's been like that ever since I moved here in 2012. But that wrought iron down at the Veterans Memorial, where they had to put a background
could
in
see it?
there so you could actually read the fence. You know, I would hate to design something that looks good either on paper or in a digital graphic, but then it doesn't really appear that way.
Sure.
In reality.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like it disappears on this one, you know,
in the
you
low
kind of
light.
lose it with all this, everything in the background.
Yeah.
Do we know how much each one of these concepts would cost us?
In this project, the landscaping package is around 900,000.
I'm just talking about the signs.
I don't know. It's too early to have that kind of a breakdown
Okay.
right now. Yeah.
Do we actually need the M?
No. No.
Yeah,
Again, I mean,
yeah, that's, to me, it's a waste.
yeah. I mean, and that's the council's decision, right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're bringing you concept of
Right.
a landscape architect, so we're looking for feedback.
All right, that's mine.
My ask would be, I would be very interested in seeing some of the competitive analysis. You mentioned Mason, Madeira, some of the other templated cities we're looking at, basing this off of. I have a reaction to how contemporary the hardscaping and landscaping looks. I feel that it's driving a little too much of a contemporary aesthetic, and I would like to see some of the other regional or other small rural communities, maybe even in Indiana, making sure that we're giving ourselves the best identity, since we're asking to build this into a playbook that will be replicated several times over, as many as 8 times you mentioned potentially in the city.
Okay.
I think also, I know I've seen a lot of roundabouts around here, and you can see where someone has actually
Driven over
drove
it.
right through the middle of it.
Yep.
And that sign could be replaced once a year or more.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, look, again, like this goes back 15 years of looking at some sort of a gateway feature here, right? There's been many iterations of that. And this is just ones that have finally made it to you because this project is real and, you know, should happen. And so we have to start making those decisions. In the past, we've, you know, it's been a want whenever we have the funding to build this project, but that project is now. So, I mean, that, like I said, this is a start, and it's also, you know, it's twofold. It's showing you what's going to happen at Butler Warren Road and what we want to happen throughout the city, and that's this council's choice as how to handle that, right? I mean, do you like the idea of having that standard so you have uniformity
I do.
in a theme?
I mean, I think it's
within the city?
it's a
right?
cohesive
Right.
kind of thing.
And so, you know, that's one piece of this, and the other piece is we've got to decide what we want at Butler Warren Road.
I support the project in totality of having a standard. I would like to temporarily take a step back and look at some different examples if we're looking at standardizing this throughout the city.
I will talk to the landscape architect. They've not been able. Mason and Madeira's concepts it's not something that they've released to their public. It's something, it's an internal document for them. So they,
I assumed that maybe that you like had driven and taken picture, like how do we assess the competitive analysis? Is it
you
just
want me
coming
to
from
go
the
to
landscape
Indiana?
architect?
I mean,
Guess it sounds like my project, drive around this weekend and find all the roundabouts I can.
I mean, I don't know, you know, again, like, I like these, right? But if they're too contemporary for you, then I don't know. I can't read. I have no idea what roundabout to go take a picture of to think that you might like.
Okay.
Well, the only thing that struck me too that I don't like about this, but I think you covered it. This design, this was engineering from a flow standpoint.
Right.
If I recall, Mason is mostly just round. And what I like that they've done is it's like a 2 or 3 foot stone wall, which would prevent, it would be a heck of a deterrent from anybody wanting to try to drive over it.
True.
However,
Cost.
a round wall on this teardrop shape of a roundabout might not play well.
Right. And with this particular roundabout, right, you'll see on the northbound traffic, there's a continuous right-hand turn lane. So, I mean, that throws the geometry off a little bit on this particular roundabout, but we want that because we want to direct people to Gateway Boulevard. We want to make that an easy decision for someone to go to Gateway Boulevard unless they're going into the outlet mall. We want to prevent that traffic from going up Mason Road and onto Gallagher up to Lebanon. So, that throws this geometry off a little bit because you don't necessarily see that on the other motions, but on this particular, that's by design to try and direct traffic and the truck traffic and keep traffic moving. So if someone is going left, there's not a slowdown. It's a continuous right hand because Gateway Boulevard is 2 lanes outside of it. And once you get outside of the roundabout, it'll be built as 5 lanes. The current Gateway Boulevard is 5 lanes. So it'll continue down to the roundabout as 5 lanes and then narrow to 4 with those islands.
Do we feel 100% confident that there's enough of a bank on the Mason Road side if there's traffic coming in from Gateway Boulevard and around and out to Butler Warren towards this new project? If a truck is going too fast, if they're not familiar with the terrain, do we have enough berth for them in that singular lane to get around the roundabout without damaging anything on the side?
Yeah, I mean, if they're going too fast and they can't control their truck, I can't answer that. But I mean, it's designed and we're actually, we have this in review right now. Kleinger's has designed this and this is our first roundabout and we want to make sure that we get it right. So we also have a third party engineering firm who has built hundreds and hundreds of roundabouts, reviewing these plans to make sure that we are getting this right. So that review's underway from, I'll leave that to the traffic engineers because I'm not a traffic engineer. But I mean, I believe that all of the safety factors are in consideration and play.
Well, I'll give you some feedback. So I will say, well, on the screen it looks great. I think in practicum, I think it's we're spending money on something that isn't necessarily going to be as noticed as what it looks like on the screen. That's just my opinion. I don't know, but that's just my impression. So maybe there's another option rather than a free form open maybe something that where it stands out if you want it to be noticed. Otherwise I would remove it.
Yeah.
honestly.
Like this one is,
I know.
that,
That's so boring though.
yeah.
I know.
I mean,
I understand. Trying to find that happy medium. Can you do
yeah.
the first one?
I'm sorry.
Could you go to the first one, please?
And again, like, 100%, these are a landscape architect.
This
using
one you
their-
notice more, it's bigger,
Yeah.
right?
You don't know what it is, though.
I know, and
This
that's
looks like-
part
it
of
looks
my
like
issue, I
artwork to
think.
me.
Not necessarily.
And you still don't know what it is.
Hey,
I don't like the lower part of that.
Can you take the color of this wall and put it on option 2? I think that would look better, the gray instead of the red.
What if you did this M with the last one?
Yeah, I don't want to.
I'm just trying to be open-minded here. You know.
well, hey, you're
open-minded
not
too.
offending me. Like, I don't,
Right, I know.
whether I like the M or not is inconsequential, right?
But if you took, for example, if the M was really critically important, it is our brand, whether you like it or not, it is our brand. So, or our logo, I guess. But if you took the large M in the center and then had the sign from the third one and you married those up, it might look better. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm not crazy about the M, but that's me.
Okay.
I will go with the
I
flow,
will
though.
relay, I will relay the information to the landscape architect and
For the standardized roundabouts, were we planning on signs for every single one of them?
no, not necessarily.
imagine.
I mean, I would really love to see 8 or 9 City of Monroe signs on
No.
every one of our roundabouts.
No, not all of them.
I think
Again,
that's
like,
a bit much.
this has always been looked at like it's a gateway into the city. Down here at Main Street, no, you probably wouldn't have a sign. You probably wouldn't even have landscaping because it's going to be a single lane roundabout. And in those instances, trucks do go down it. You got to be able to have the truck go over the middle of it. And drag over it. So, I mean, but there may be something. It may be just the colored concrete that matches. It may just be, it doesn't mean
They'll be
that
identical.
they're all going to look exactly like that. It means that we're setting a standard that if it's going to be a roundabout, it's going to have these certain themes.
Well, of these that you showed us tonight, okay, I can personally say I like concept 1, and then I also like concept 3. And I think it ultimately is going to come down to cost, right? So, but just for aesthetic purposes, what appeals, that's my opinion.
And right now, in the numbers that we have, this cost is baked into what we've had, and we know where we're going with the cost of this project. So,
With all 3 of these designs?
well, roughly, yes. Roughly, these are all going to be close. They're not, you're not looking at $100,000 difference because of the difference in the sign. They're all going to be very similar in cost, and I believe that's in the neighborhood of 900 to 950,000. That's in the budget for landscaping.
I love the landscaping. I would love, as you come off 75 and you enter the city, I would love to have something, that welcomes people to the city at that point, but it's almost, I don't know where you would do that. So,
Yeah.
I think this is,
Well, and again, some of it ties in, but it also, we're coming up on 20 years of that interchange, and to be quite honest with you, I mean, a lot of that landscaping is dying out and it's going to need replaced. And I've gotten estimates before, and you're looking at $1 million in design on top of the cost of the project, right? So, I would also say, like, in what we had a conversation with the landscape architect about is the interchange is 20 years old, right? Is that still the look we want? Or do you want a different look, right? Like, I mean, because it is 20
that's
years
a
old.
nightmare.
I don't know, right? But at some point, it's got to be, it's going to have to be redone. It's going to have to be repurposed. So, again, I don't
I'm
wanna
not a
take any
fan of
more
the
your
giant
time. I
X,
just, you
so.
know, these are things that are going to be coming at you over the next several meetings with decisions to make because, you know, as long as this project is moving forward, construction's starting within 45 days.
Can you, on all your trucks, can you put the city of Monroe underneath your M's?
We can.
Okay.
I mean, we'd have to get a whole new sticker, but that's what I mean.
Like
would
I said,
need- I would.
Nobody
I mean,
knows what
it's-
that
I
is.
would need something. I don't know.
Future
mean,
discussion,
to-
maybe.
I don't know the protocol to that for you to
Yeah.
tell me to put the city of Monroe
Well,
under
yeah,
there.
well,
Like,
you don't have to.
That's
I'm just asking
rebranding.
if
we,
you-
we have our branding guide,
If you
right?
could.
So-
Well, if that's the branding, that just the M goes on stuff, then I see a problem with that.
Okay.
But anyway,
That's not a decision
That's
I can
another discussion.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you.
I have a few questions before we adjourn. Are we getting ready to adjourn?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if anybody had anything.
Okay.
Good timing.
You're up.
Okay, there was supposed to be a gentleman here about water. Was that today?
Second meeting in June.
Mr. Roscal is planning for June 23rd.
23rd, okay. All right, we had a gentleman here from Majestic about water rates. I don't think.
Garden Manor.
Garden Manor.
Or Majestic.
It's
It's
Majestic.
Majestic, no.
It's
Yeah.
whatever. I call it Garden Manor, but it's not Garden Manor. It's Majestic. Did we do anything with that?
I did reach out and leave him a voicemail. I have not talked to him since the last meeting, but I did let him know that I have not been given direction to reduce his rate
Okay.
and offered an opportunity to discuss any further questions that he has.
All right. I just want to make sure because the water rates is a hot topic right now. And if you start decreasing the rates to all these places, you're going to have to do it for everybody. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because how many car washes do we have? 4? Yeah.
Well, our big water users might might get curious. So
I'm not
hear
sure
you.
offhand, but I can get you that number.
Well, the number doesn't make, what my point is, I say things hoping that people understand what I'm talking about, and I'm sure most people do. In other words, what I'm trying to say is if you give this guy a discount on water, then you've got 3 other people that are going to be standing right here at the next meeting getting and talking about wanting a water rate decrease too. That's what I'm getting at. Can you not hear me either?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
That's
you're
all
right.
that's-
You're right.
That's all I got. And, water rates will come up again next meeting, though. I will tell you that. I'm tired, so I'm ready to go.
Does anybody else on council have anything they'd like to discuss this evening?
Yeah, I want to go back to roundabouts again. No, I'm just kidding.
I was wondering why you were talking so quiet. Then I thought you were making fun of the microphone situation. All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.